So I think job descriptions, yeah, things are written down, but in most organizations, job descriptions are rarely referenced, right? So when people come into a job, they may have seen their job description when they applied for the job, but once they start working, they learn what they do on the job, sort of informally from their manager, from their peers, and through that process, they learn, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, this is what I'm responsible for.
And then you get misinterpretations, you get things that go longer than they should go, people forget what they talked about, and there's just people passing in the night out there. And that's tough, especially when you've got people who love to be in a loving, collaborative environment. You'll find the lack of clarity in terms of the work undermines that like crazy and can.
Getting clarity is hard, and getting clarity is what Holacracy is really all about. Who should make this decision? What expectations are on them? How do we really need to work? What do we need to expect of each other? Who makes which decisions and all that in order to really serve the purpose of our team best? And when you have clarity that comes from that, the clarity is useful. You can rely on it. You can build on top of it. You can look at it instead of shoving it in a desk drawer like you do your job description.
I guess one of the reasons we took to Holacracy so quickly was because both our work and the people who work with us, clarity is such a key element. If things aren't clear, you need to get them clear. And how do you get them clear? Holacracy brought in that to an exponential level.
The first thing that you see when you implement Holacracy is increased clarity. It really brings everything out to the surface. It makes it so explicit what work is being done in pursuit of purpose, who holds that work, which roles, which circles, and not just at a kind of vague general level, but really specific, really detailed. It creates huge clarity about what's expected of me, what's expected of others. Am I okay asking this of you? Yes, absolutely, that's my role. So I think that crystal clarity, that's the first benefit really that you get, probably from practicing even a few weeks to months.
And that really, when we tried it out, it was really like, okay, this is the thing that will sort of give us clarity, give us speed, without having management or top-down annoying stuff.
One of the values of having a software tool like GlassFrog that captures your Holacracy governance records is anyone in the organization, or even any partners of the organization, can go look up anything about how it functions and get real clarity of how things work around here. So I can show a partner, here's all of my roles, here's what you can count on me for, here's what you can't.
What you see is you see people looking at these roles on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis. You see people referencing them in their work, both to make requests of others or to understand who they should be talking to or understand why someone is talking to them. That does change the way coordination happens. And so I do think that that is maybe above all things, the thing that jumps out as like really, really different.
The nice thing about transparency of governance records is I don't have to go to anyone else to find out, is something your job? No one looks at a job description, it's in a file drawer somewhere. But with transparent governance records, I can look for myself and know exactly what role I can expect something from.
So this ease of quickly searching, does this exist? Is there someone who does this? Is really, really crazy. That sort of gives them superpowers. You have an organization with 50 people, we have 300 plus roles now, and still people can just find the right person for something on their first day. That's magic.
And then day to day, it just makes things easier and faster. I can just go straight forward to their website role and ask for an action or a project. It's just so easy, and they have, the full authority to act upon it. This is why it's so fast, right? They don't have to wait until somebody else gives them permission or whatever.
I can use GlassFrog, I can look up who's responsible for what, and then I can make a request, and I can know that my colleague, knowing what they're responsible for, will actually take on that action.
The difference in Holacracy is that you're explicitly allowed, invited to take that action and use your judgment about how much input. Who do you need to consult with? What do you need to do to make this decision?
But now people are very confident in taking decisions because they can say, I want to do this, and this is our current strategy, and that totally makes sense.
Me and my co-founder, we didn't want to be involved in the decision what stamps to buy or stuff like that, or which color to paint the walls. And so that's been, I guess, the big learning process for us personally, to let it go, or just to hang on to the stuff we think is really important from our perspective and our roles, and for others to step up and to just decide instead of to consult everybody else. Yeah.
It's funny, in our top-down hierarchies, the most common way we use to make decisions seems to be consensus. We get everyone bought in and we socialize decisions, right? And Holacracy brings in this new discipline of, no, first figure out who should make this decision, right? What role owns this decision and what expectations come with that? Maybe there's certain people they need to check with for certain reasons, right? And then we get to lead that role. So there's a discipline in going away from just the big group discussion to the, well, wait a minute, let's get clarity here.
One of the things that makes Holacracy so powerful is it's really not a group that's trying to achieve consensus. It's people getting real autonomy to drive decisions in their own roles without having to check back with a boss, with their colleagues. So really there are no group decisions in Holacracy.
Distributed decision-making power means that decision-making is still centralized. It's just not centralized all in the same place, which is how it used to be, and which was what we were getting fed up with.
In a way, it is distributed authority. It's also distributed stress, meaning now I could get everybody to play in the game and to really see things from the point of view of the purpose of the company as opposed to David Allen as founder.
One person described it as, now it's like I'm the CEO of my roles, right? And I get to lead those roles, and when something's not working with those roles, I know how to drive change in our organization to let them work better.
Right, it's no longer the boss's fault, it's everyone's fault. We all have equal stake and equal ownership in that challenge and the solution.